to me really like Melvin wanted this fight over as quickly as possible, because I think he recognised the longer it went on, the more chance it was going to go to the ground. And I think he knew that if it went to the ground, it was probably going to be curtains. And I think for the first minute, he did extremely well in really trying to go and end the fight. You know, there were lots of flying knees. Unfortunately for him, it didn't make a big enough impact quickly enough. Dan Miller was clinging to him to avoid getting sort of knocked over, although he was put on his arse at least once. And because of that, it became a little bit predictable, and the inevitable happened that Melvin Guillard went in for yet another flying knee, and oops, Jim Miller, now recognising this, got the takedown, and then that was it. It was curtains. Pat Barry showed two things in his fight. The first is the importance of the sprawl. Although he got taken down several times, Moorcraft was not successful in all his attempts, and the reason for that really was not because he was tired or anything like that. It was literally because Pat Barry could sprawl well enough not to get down. Moorcraft's main idea was to go to the ground and get a submission as quickly as possible, and he tried several times. I mean, right off the bat, he got the fight to the ground and tried an RNC and failed. That didn't stop him. Every time he went to the ground, his first thought was choke, and if that doesn't work, go for something else. And I think he was improvising when he went for the arm, but it highlights the second thing that you can take away from this Pat Barry fight, and that's that he does actually know submission defence as well, because it looked certainly like the first choke and the armbar attempt were reasonably good. I mean, I don't think he ever looked like he was about to tap out, but they did look like they were really good attacks, and he managed to defend. And of course, sooner or later, his striking got the better of Moorcraft, and that was it. Do think that one of the commentators, I think it even was Kenny Florian, who kept asking why Pat Barry was doing leg kicks. Doesn't he know that's what Pat Barry does? I don't know, but there you go. The one thing that 90% of us who went for Joseph Sandoval on our predictions was that we underestimated was what's called dirty boxing, I believe, and Nick Denis has a lot of that. Notice when the end came that with most fighters you see them sort of batting the head of their opponent between left and right, whereas if you noticed what Nick Denis was doing, he was actually holding the head of Joseph Sandoval in place with his left hand and simply whacking it with his right hand. I believe that's a style from dirty boxing, although I could be wrong. And you saw it a little bit. I think they were going to go into a clinch just before that happened with some sort of knee, but Joseph Sandoval got out of that. So I think it wasn't quite as obvious as it could have been, but I do believe that is what it's called. I like and was glad that Charlie Bremerman won his fight against Daniel Roberts. However, it hasn't gone unnoticed that he is a tad reckless, I think. He was exceptional on the ground, but I worry about him facing a more excellent submission artist on the ground, because twice, not once but twice, he was saved by the bell. In fact, the only time that Daniel Roberts ever really came into his own in that fight was the last 10 seconds of round 2 and the last 10 seconds of round 3, both of which he actually had Charlie Broman not only in a submission manoeuvre, but he had it completely locked up and probably would have got a tap had he not run out of time. That, to me, just ekes slightly of recklessness on Broman's behalf. You know, as well as dominance, he ought not to be quite so reckless, I think, because one day, you know, that's going to happen 15 seconds before the end of the round, and then he's going to be screwed. Pat Schilling says of his performance, well, that was embarrassing. No, I don't think so. I think it showed quite a lot, considering it was to his debut, and considering also something that I didn't know, was that he took the fight on short notice. I do think that he was a bit of an underdog in that fight despite his experience. I mean, not knowing either of them, just based on record, I went for Pineda. So I'm not saying that he was, you know, the favourite to win that one anyway. So I don't think he did badly at all, and I certainly don't think that he should be embarrassed by his performance. I'm sure next time he will win. Also, hate to say this, but I'm sure that I saw at least one shot to the back of the head by Daniel Pineda during that fight. It wasn't called, and of course the ref, ironically, was Mario Yamazaki. So, And well done also to Mike Easton, who won his match. I would like to congratulate Kamal Shaloris, not that he won, but that he managed to get through nearly 3 full rounds without a low blow. No, the winner of that bout was Habib Nurmagomedov, who I have decided, since he was finally able to choke out Kamal Shaloris, something that I felt that Kamal has deserved for quite some time, is going to be my fighter of